Harold Clurman was my first actor I studied with when I came to New York, and with Jack, Jack Davidson. We both graduated at the same time and came to New York, and I had read all of his books, all about the group theater, and Harold Clurman was a great um, hero of mine. I mean, he was, and I studied it. We took the classes there, and he was an insomniac, and the classes began at 11:30 at night after the Broadway shows, and we were at Carnegie Hall, the studios up at Carnegie Hall, and they began after the shows came down and they went till 2 o'clock in the morning. And it was the most, I mean, aside from how brilliant he was, and aside from listening to him was everything you'd ever wanted it to be. He had these late classes, and it was our, first year in New York. So we'd get out of the class at 2 o'clock in the morning and go to the theater bar, which was on 46th Street, and drink and say, my God, we're in New York. We're studying with Harold Clurman. He was great. I also studied with Lee Strasberg, and he was a different, he was much more hands-on than Clurman was, more about ideas. And he could just wax a play that Chekhov, he loved Chekhov. He just is what he talked about it. Lee was more about the acting, the nuts and bolts of acting. And then I studied with a man named Win Hammond, he ran the Women's Project came out of it. I'm just blanking out on the name of his theater. They had a theater on West 46th Street and 6th Avenue. Oh, I can't remember Wynn's theater. But anyway, I studied with him. And then Julie Bavasso, she was an actor and a playwright and a brilliant teacher and we met after class at the Cedar Bar. The Cedar Bar had become the Cedar Tavern. It was moved to a different, but we used to go there every day, every week after class. She had a play done at Circle Rep, and she didn't like what they were doing. Opening night, she got up on stage and stopped this play. This is not my play. And it's in her obituary. But she was like that. She was just a pistol. And they were exciting people to study with. And when I was in New York, before the year was out, my parents had given me a year in New York to make it. They paid for my rent. But after a year, I was gonna have to, do something else. And the year was up in September, and in June I auditioned for Oliver, and I got it. So I did it, and my mother they had a big opening night party for me. I mean, it was just my opening. I was a replacement in it, and my mother kept drinking her whiskey sour, saying, "You proved me wrong. You proved me wrong."